Ole'Pops here, smoking my songwriter, one that was made specific for me. It's one of my favorite little old pipes. I just love it to death. I smoked me some gaslight in it the other day and ghosted it pretty bad, and got an opportunity to try Sleepy Hollow in it. Well, got an opportunity to try Sleepy Hollow, and the only pipe I had available was my songwriter, so I poked her plumb full of Sleepy Hollow and lit her up. She was ghosted so bad that instead of tasting like Sleepy Hollow, it tasted like a drowsy campfire. I was telling Harriet about it, Harriet Hefner, when she was showing off that pretty Peterson that was sent to her. We got a kick out of that. But I've smoked a few bowls out of it now, and I got her pretty well cleaned out. And today, since it's all toasted off cold around here, I've been to my local brick and mortar, and I've got what the humidor has mixed up, something that they call a seasonal. They call it Tennessee Sunrise, and it's their answer to a holiday blend, and it's pretty tasty. I don't know what it really is, but they add a little name to pretty much everything that they mix up. Of course, it's other things, but they add their own name to it. Sitting on the front porch Friday evening, sitting there talking with Jilly darling, a mailman went by. I went out and got the mail sitting right on top of it. I was noticing the front page of the paper, right under the headlines, it was talking about the high school football games for the night, and my old alma mater's homecoming game was Friday night. I don't know if they won or lost. I don't really care. I don't keep up with it. But right on top, I noticed an invitation in the mail for my 40th class reunion. I showed it to Jilly darling. She asked me if I was going to go. And I asked her, I said, well, do you want to go? You know, if you want to go, we'll go. And she said, no, she didn't care nothing about going. And I told her I didn't either. And I asked her why she didn't care anything about going. She said she didn't know none of them people. And I told her, I said, the only ones I cared anything about seeing I kept up with. And she asked me, she said, you know what a 40th anniversary or a 40th reunion is, don't you? And I asked her, what's that? She said, it's a place where all the people that are too old and wrinkled and gray and fat are going to come back and not recognize you. And I got to thinking about it, and I said, well, now what does that say for me? She said, I don't know. Ain't this the year that you were expecting so much from last year? And I said, well, yeah. She said, you might be the next one to go. So you better be careful about what you say about some of these people. And I said, okay. I got thinking about it, and you know, a closed mouth gathers no feet. And then I got thinking about how all the folks that I kept up with out of after high school were trying to take care of themselves, and they all hollering at me about how I ought to quit smoking and take better care of myself. And I just think about how all these health nuts are gonna feel real stupid lying up in the hospital one of these days dying of nothing. They fuss at me about exercising, and of course, you know, I hike, you know, but they talk about raising you do cardiovascular, raising your heart rate and going jogging. And I think about jogging, and it just makes the ice cubes jump out of my rye. You know, you're only young once, right? But I guess if you want to be, you can be immature forever. I look at my kids and I'm pretty convinced of it. But then I think if your parents didn't have children, well, there's a good chance that you won't either, right? Right? And with the cost of living the way it is today, it's a wonder it's still so popular. Well, anyway, Jilly darling and I got to talking about it, and we figured that the key was just try to be diplomatic. Just try our best to be diplomatic. The art of being diplomatic. It's diplomacy. You know what diplomacy is, right? Diplomacy. It's being able to say good dog till you can find a big enough rock to throw. Right? Right. And in the state of the affairs these days, there ain't no shortage of diplomats and politicians in our nation's capital. I tell you what, these days I think there's more diplomats and politicians in Washington than there are people. At least the unemployment rate's down, right? The thing about unemployment, though, is as soon as you wake up, you're on the job. Makes me wonder. Makes me wonder if the shape of things these days is caused by ignorance or apathy. I just don't know. And really, I can't say I much care. You know, Jilly darling was reminding me that the reason lightning don't strike the same place twice is that after lightning struck, the same place ain't not there twice. I'm Ole'Pops.